You've selected a show from the Podcast Jukebox, a DIY podcast network.
It's Will Shawn Podcast. The internet cried out for two more blowhards, and they courageously answered that call. Armed with the weapon of wit, each week they're joined by guests to discuss movies, television, pop culture, and anything else that's pissing them off. Take it away, boys.
I'm Will Link.
And I'm Sean David.
And this is Will Shawn Podcast.
Of course, since we are now the most trusted news source in America. How you doing, Will?
We are the most trusted news source. I mean, we did very good with our Oscar news.
We did pretty good.
Yeah. So trust us. How am I doing? I gotta go to a wedding.
Yeah. These things happen.
It's a very last minute wedding.
Uh-huh.
And
how many months pregnant is she?
I don't think any, but you never know. Maybe I'll find out a couple months from now. I'm a little concerned though. There's a rumor that this is going to be the menu will be Indian food. Mm-hmm. It's just a rumor. It's the one food I do not enjoy. I enjoy all food.
I thought you liked sushi.
Yeah, but sushi, I could go to a sushi place to get something else.
Okay.
Indian food, you're kind of stuck. If you go to an Indian restaurant, you're going to get Indian food. You know what I mean? So I'm very concerned. It's a dry wedding. Mm-hmm. The people are concerned. I'm concerned I'm going to be.
Do you know what this means? It means Taco Bell and Hip Flask.
I am going to. Yes, this is. If this is true, I will be hitting the Taco Bell after this wedding. But I love weddings. I've said this on the podcast before. I'm a big fan of weddings. I like love and I like music and dancing.
But can you do Bollywood dancing? You gotta watch.
Is that gonna? This could be. See, that could be the plus. I have to eat Indian food, which I don't enjoy, but there'll be like big musical numbers.
Yes, that's exactly what it's gonna be.
I'm hoping.
I don't know. It sounds very culturally insensitive.
Yeah, is it? I don't know. Is the person who's getting married listening? Maybe. Probably not, though. So yeah, this has been. I'm a little concerned.
You'll be fine. Somehow, if you dig deep.
So, what's going on in the world of Will Shawn Podcast?
Want to thank everyone for listening. Please make sure you are listening to the other shows on the Podcast Jukebox Network, including their newest show,
Being There.
Being There, yes.
Just like the movie.
I wasn't going to make the joke. Please check out their other fine shows on the network. If you haven't subscribed to us already, please do so. Leave us a star rating. Leave a few kind words. Leave more kind words, because it all helps to help other people find the podcast and, tell people about us.
Yeah. Tell them.
Do it.
And who is our sponsor this week?
March Madness is here, not to be confused with February Fury, January Jackoff, and April Apocalypse.
I am already planning my April Apocalypse bracket.
Is it? I this time of year, I hate it. I hate.
Do you hate the
college sports and the tournament and?
I've always had trouble getting into college sports because I didn't go to.
Because you don't follow Middle Tennessee University.
Yeah, I didn't go to a school. I went to an art school and we didn't have sports, so it's not like I could get into. And I, in New York we had lots of professional teams, so I never got into college.
The only bracket you were filling out is like which director is the best.
Yeah, I'll fill in some film bracket.
Yeah.
But on the show this week, speaking of movies. Everybody's got Movie Pass except the person who sees the most movies of all, me. We're going to discuss why, and we're going to discuss some issues some people are having with Movie Pass. Also, speaking of movies, A Wrinkle in Time came out, and it made me think about other beloved childhood books that we would like to see turned into films. We will discuss. And Amazon. They're delivering things quicker, but they're delivering things wrong. And I've got a problem with this. I got a problem with them in their white vans driving around. I got a beef. We're going to discuss it. But first, we are very excited to have with us today, Becca Brown.
It's me. What up?
Hey, thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
So you are an actress. Mm-hmm. We always like to begin with getting the guest's origin story.
Ooh.
So where are you from originally? Because it's not Los Angeles.
It's not LA. I'm originally from Chicago, scenic, beautiful Chicago, Illinois. Mm. And I lived there pretty much my whole life until I moved here.
Which part of Chicago are you from?
Bounced all around different neighborhoods, mainly the west side of Chicago. So like I was in like Wicker, Logan, Humboldt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went to school with a lot of friends from like North Shore though, so.
Oh, nice. Like
Wilmette
New
and-
Trier kids.
Yeah, all the New Trier kids.
I
yeah.
said that with disdain. I know a lot of New Trier kids, and actually, like most of them are pretty all right.
What is the? I don't know anything
So
about Chicago.
so New Trier is the school that Mean Girls was based on.
Oh,
like the high
really?
school, yeah. It's in the North Shore, which is like a rich, mostly Jewish, like part of the suburbs, like the north suburbs of Chicago.
It's like John Hughes territory.
I was about to say. I was literally going to say like this is where like the rich kids in Pretty in Pink live,
Totally.
as opposed to Molly Ringwald.
It's the New Trier is like considered one of the best public schools in the country. It's up there with like Stuyvesant, where you always hear about like that it turns out an illustrious alumni.
Okay.
yeah.
But you didn't go there.
No.
Okay.
No, I went
You
to.
weren't a
So
mean
I did.
girl.
My school had
You're from like Wayne's World, Chicago.
No. Wayne's World is Aurora. I'm
Yeah.
from the
Don't-
city of Chicago. Penny. I will,
Even I knew
like,
that.
Okay, so I have a big problem with people who are like from Chicagoland suburbs, like Naperville and Aurora, saying that they're from Chicago because they're not. No, I'm from the city of Chicago, where dreams are built, and then you go and you improvise at Second City for a couple years, and you're like, I don't know about those dreams anymore.
Lorne Michaels isn't showing up anytime soon.
He has, but not. No, it's not as like, I don't know. Yeah, no, Chicago's great. It's definitely a lot of love in that city. There's definitely in the arts scene, it's very different than it is here. There's a lot of experimental and like alternative art and comedy. The alt comedy scene is probably like, I think, the best in the country compared to here in New York. But that's just me.
Do you think that because it's not New York or LA and it's kind of considered the second city in a lot of ways, that it allows people feel they don't have to conform more and can do more alt stuff? Do you think that's what experiment more?
Definitely, and I think there's just more. I mean, since Chicago is so condensed, it's like it's a small version of both New York and LA. I think it's like the perfect city because it's kind of got like the great urban, metro area vibe of New York with the like water next to it.
I love
Yeah.
Chicago.
Chicago's the best,
Like
man.
5 months out of the year, though.
Yeah, it's only nice from like May through October, and then like sometimes in May it'll snow like one day, and you'll be like, "What the fuck is happening?" But yep.
I tell people,
Weather-wise,
yeah.
it sucks, but
Yeah.
everything else-wise, it's great. The food is the best, the bar scene is the best, and I think the art there is probably the best.
So, with acting,
Yeah.
now you were in School of Rock. Mm-hmm. Were you acting before that? Because how old were you when that?
I was
came out?
10. I never acted a day in my life before I went in to audition for that movie.
So what made that happen?
I was a classical guitarist from the time I was 4. I guess this is like where we get to like the hero like origin story of how
Yeah.
I became
This is your-
the very sad adult that I am now.
It's your radioactive spider bite.
Yeah, I was a classical guitarist, and my mom, very not pressured, but she just pushed me like really hard to just be successful at it. And I practiced every day, not because she made me, because I wanted to, and I loved playing guitar, and I always just thought that would be my thing. But I was on this radio show called From the Top when I was like 9 in 4th grade, and they had on like child classical music prodigies, and then they would like interview them after, and the casting for School of Rock like was happening around the same time that I was on the show. So they heard my interview. They're like, "Oh, that's cute. Let's bring her in." And they also got the keyboard player, Robert Sy, who played Lawrence, the keyboard player in School of Rock, from that show as well. And we got to like go in and audition based on just hearing us on this like NPR show.
Is that like a scene that's out there, like the child prodigy musician scene?
I mean,
there's a whole
obviously now, because
Yeah.
School of Rock kind of made it so.
Okay.
I feel like, yeah, there's a lot. I did actually study guitar in the North Shore in Evanston,
Okay.
which is like around Northwestern University's campus. But I mean, I don't know. The From the Top show was super cool, though. It was on for a while. I don't know if it still exists. I don't think it does, but yeah, it was like kids from all over the country. There was like, I remember these like Romanian kids that were on my episode that were like a bassoon and like flute duo that I remember that. I was like, that was really fucking cool. There was like a girl from Iceland who played the cello. Yeah, it was pretty tight. Like I definitely I was the youngest person, I think, at the time. I think I was the youngest girl to ever be on the show.
Really?
Definitely the first like female classical guitarist to ever be on the show, which is pretty tight as well. And yeah, the casting for School of Rock, they came from the top 4 kids. They were like, who do you got that's cute in this age range? And it was me and Robert.
Who's in your inventory?
Yeah.
I feel like with a movie like that, they kind of had to do a national casting.
They did. It was
they had to find
national.
very specific,
And it sounds like from what you're saying, they were were they more concerned with the musical ability
They
then?
were concerned. So for the band kids, we needed to play actual instruments. That wasn't like, they weren't going to have kids like pretending to play. Like their
close-ups.
vision,
Yeah.
their vision for it was that we were actually playing. So like they searched, and like I went in, read for the like, band manager Miranda Cosgrove role, and that was like my first time acting, but I like fully worked hard on it. I like memorized everything, and my mom like got me all ready for it. She's like the quintessential like stage mom. That's like for sure my mother. But we like did all the work, and they were like, okay, and we know you play guitar. Do you have anything for us? And I played like one classical piece, and then I played Here Comes the Sun, and then they sent me out. They gave me the sides for the boy lead guitarist role too, just to see. They like really didn't know what they were gonna do with the kids like until they saw what they needed.
Right. Yeah.
And they weren't able to, cast me as the band manager. They wanted to use me for my musical talents and exploit me for that. And then that's a joke. I don't think that was exploitation at all. I am actually very grateful for it. And I always joke that I'm not, but I really am. But no, yeah, I think that I'm pretty sure that just the fact that they had a girl that was able to play a guitar, they were like, oh, what can we do with this kid? What can we do with this girl? And yeah, the band is all boys at this point. Like, what can we do with her? So they wrote Katie for me, and I was cast like a month later and flown out to New York and living in a hotel with my mom, and it was great. It was like the best experience ever.
No, were you the bassist in the band?
I was the bassist in the band. I didn't like know formally how to play bass, but the first day that I got there, me and then Joey Gatos and Kevin Clark, who played Zach and Freddie respectively, also from the Midwest. Like Joey's from Detroit, and Kevin is also from the Chicagoland area. He's one of those motherfuckers that sometimes claims Chicago. I'm like, you from Highland Park? There's a Highland Park, Chicago. It's very different than the Highland Park that's here.
There's an Inglewood, New Jersey, which is very different than the Inglewood.
There's an Inglewood in Chicago, too, and a Buena Park. There's a lot of crossover in Arlington Heights in Chicago, too.
Only so many town names that you could have.
Yeah.
Listen, Smithtown.
Yeah, I'm from Smithtown, Long Island.
Yup.
That's a very...
There's only one North Hollywood.
It's amazing, though, how it has become, School of Rock has become kind of an inch with the Broadway show and everything.
And all the like real School of Rocks that are around the country, like they're all over the country. Those are technically not affiliated with us, but we totally, help them, their business model, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's like kids under 18 are allowed to like go and take classes and learn how to be little rock stars. And some of the School of Rock shows that I've been to have been great. Like these kids can really jam.
Do you still play?
I play guitar. I actually just got my guitar shipped to me finally today from Chicago. I was like there for a couple weeks, and I was like, I don't want to fly with this. So
yeah,
I just got it back today. It was like really good to have my baby back. But yeah, I still play guitar. I'm teaching myself piano. I taught myself ukulele a couple years back, and I'm more predominantly than anything a singer. I was doing a lot of musical theater and musical comedy in Chicago. And the job that got me here was a musical.
That was going to be my question. With so School of Rock happens, and then were you pursuing acting or music more? Were you pursuing one more than the other?
I was pursuing them both
point?
at the same time.
Okay.
And this is I think what informed my artistic whatever now that I do. When I got back from the movie, I went back to doing classical lessons, and my guitar teacher was like, "This is our little star. We're gonna, whatever." And I was just like, "All right, yeah, I'll do it." But I'd been bitten by the acting bug, so I was like, "No, I want to do more of this too. I want to keep going in for movies and TV and commercials and shit." So my mom and I shopped around. We got an agent. My mom was kind of my manager for a little bit, and whenever press started for School of Rock and we started flying out here to LA and flying out to New York to do press junkets and stuff, my mom was like, why don't we just go on meetings and see what we can do with this? If you want to do the TV and acting thing, let's just try it. And so I went in, I auditioned for Disney and Nickelodeon shows left and right. I came pretty close on some of them. Hannah Montana was nearly mine, and then Miley walked in with her dad, and they were kind of a package deal. And I was like, "Good for you, girl. Get it. Get that money. Get that paycheck." And then my mom was like, "Okay, I think we should probably just go back to Chicago." And I was like, "Yeah, I agree." And I was like, "I'm gonna live my life as a kid and just do high school and fuck the child star thing. I don't want that. I see what it does to Lindsay Lohan, who was my hero, and then became just this mess. I still love you, Lilo, if you're listening.
Long Island Zone.
Lilo,
We go a big following in
we
Dubai.
care about you. We want you to know that you're enough and you don't need." Oh God, I worry about her so much. Did you watch the documentary?
No.
The Oprah Winfrey Network.
Oh, I know
God.
what you're talking about. I didn't watch it, but I know what you're
Worried
talking about.
about my girl Lilo. My best friend in Chicago and I had a Lindsay Lohan movie marathon last time I was home, and I was just like, oh, poor girl. But yeah, I know. I did the little I got the taste of the Hollywood child star thing, and I was like, all right, that's cool. We can maybe revisit that when I'm more emotionally and physically developed as a person.
Because that's what it is. You need to be in
Yeah.
the right... And I guess sometimes people too young don't get in that right...
Right. Well,
headspace
I
and
mean,
that-
there's a theory that people who are famous don't mature after they get famous. Whatever age they were when they got famous is how old they mentally stay forever. I don't know if I believe that that's true or not, but I've seen it. I've seen that theory happen. And I didn't want it to happen to me.
It doesn't happen to your... Well, I guess they could have been really... I guess...
We don't know. The truth is, no one really know, what Jodie Foster's really
I was
like,
about
or
to say, Ron Howard.
Yeah.
But it seems like he's doing all right.
Yeah. There's probably some exception cases, but there are cases where you see Michael Jackson. I feel like he never really...
Right.
My mom went to elementary school with him.
Really?
She has a 6th grade class photo of Michael Jackson. That was the last year
He's
he went to school
another one.
before.
He had the further problem of having a really abusive
True.
father.
Yeah, and I mean, so did Lilo. I mean, she's definitely got family issues too, but I'm very blessed to have had a great, support system of my parents and my siblings and my entire family, and honestly just Chicago as a whole kind of.
Well, then, so you're having more of the normal childhood then after that. So then when did you really dive back into acting? When did you really
Well, I never
decide?
stopped acting.
You were doing it in
was
school
doing
and stuff?
School, yeah, theater. I did professional theater. I mean, I would audition for commercials, TV, film, like I said. After I stopped, going into these Disney meetings gun blazing, I just was still auditioning, but it wasn't. I was more focusing on high school at this time, and I'm trying to get a real education. I didn't know whether I wanted to go to theater school or music school or just do college,
liberal arts degree, yeah,
non artistic major so I could make money. I chose theater. And I'm glad that I did. I went to UIC, which is University of Illinois at Chicago. Hey, I just I learned a lot, and I did Second City classes and improv, and I just kind of never stopped taking in new forms of art to create and to work with. And so now I feel any route that I go. Like if I do, blow up acting wise, music wise, comedy wise, or some amalgam of all three, that I'm good and that I, have all these skills that I've accrued over the years of just me trying new shit.
And you're laying the groundwork for yourself, so when the opportunity comes,
Yeah, I'm a
I can pivot in that
workhorse.
direction.
I'm a workhorse. I've recently gotten into drag stuff too, so I've been, drag queening.
Wait. Explain.
I'm low key, I have been a huge fan of just drag in general since I was a child, and I've always been fascinated by drag. And in Chicago, I dipped my toe, and I was a drag queen for a couple shows. I painted my face up and put on a weave and lip synced.
I guess I didn't know. I don't know.
You didn't know that drag wasn't just for cis men anymore, huh?
Yes.
I'm staying out of this.
Yes. No, I didn't know that there was.
No, I'm happy to explain that.
Yeah.
Well, there's.
Do you know about? You know about this?
I know about
You know.
There's a whole
berries.
discussion being had about whether there's a seat at the table for female drag queens, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that there is. There are some people that do believe that drag is for cis men only, but I don't think anything is really for cis men only anymore. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
You're muscling in on the cis men's territory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take it a little bit back.
Okay.
He's taking everything.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
there was a while. There was a name for it that we don't use anymore. At first, it was called bio drag when a woman is a drag queen. Because there are drag kings too. There's girls that are male impersonators and they lip sync to Elvis, and I've done that too. But I much prefer to paint my face and perform femininity.
Drag queen.
Yeah, it's you're performing femininity rather than just living it every day and living with the struggles of it and celebrating what's fun about it, the makeup and the hair and the shoes.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
It's a lot of fun.
Why can't all that? Yeah, all that makeup shouldn't be just for men.
It's true.
So you said you came out here for a comedy musical that was Spamilton?
Yeah.
Okay, so did that start in Chicago and then come out
Started
here?
in New York, and the original show was only supposed to be I think an 18 performance run in New York at in off Broadway, Forbidden Broadway. That was an institution for years where Gerard Alessandrini, the very talented writer director galore, he would take whatever was on Broadway and then spoof it and do these Weird Al parodies of whatever was on Broadway.
Yeah.
And that ran for a long time, and they would just change the review every year. Or not every year. It was every couple years. I don't know that much about the history of that. But when Hamilton came out, was I have to do this. I have to parody Hamilton. So Spamilton was born, and it's not just a straight through parody of Hamilton. There's also bits from Wicked and Les Mis and Sweeney Todd interspersed into it. And there's other musicals that get spoofed within the show. It's a review style parody of mostly Hamilton.
So what was your? So then is there then a lot of different roles that you take on?
Yeah.
In the,
so I was
what are some of
in
those
Chicago. I came into the show. They had already been doing it for a couple months, but the woman that I went in for, I was her understudy for a minute. The wonderfully talented Michelle Lauto. I stepped in for her as her understudy, and then she went to do another show, and I just took over her spot. And I was the only girl in the Chicago cast, so I played all three of the Schuyler sisters. I played Liza Minnelli, Barbara Streisand, Bernadette Peters,
The founding sisters.
The real Schuyler sisters, Bernadette Peters and Liza and Barbara, and just a bunch of other little here and there characters. But that's all of the cast did that. Except for the actor who played Lin-Manuel Miranda, everyone else kind of filled in all these ensemble roles, and we just it was a farcical revolving doors of we'd all come out. There were silly costume pieces and wigs and costume changes. It was really fun.
And this had to be. This sounds like kind of the culmination of so many things. You've got the comedy that you've been working on, you got your musical abilities and acting.
Perfect gig. It was I got to do impressions of Broadway divas, and I'm a huge musical theater nerd. Sometime between School of Rock and high school, I just became I think it was because we were living in New York when we were shooting, so we got to go to Broadway shows all the time. We like saw Aida and because Adam Pascal, who was in School of Rock, was also in the like original Broadway cast of Aida, which was like shooting and that at the same time. I don't know how he does it. And I like saw him here a couple months ago. He was like touring with Something Rotten, and the dude's still touring. He's a fucking workhorse, man. But yeah, like we got to see Aida and like a bunch of just shows on Broadway, and we watched Chicago so many times on set. That was like our family like movie that the kids we were all obsessed with Chicago. We would watch that all the time, and we just all kind of were musical theater nerdy. And so Spamilton for me, and when Hamilton came out, I mean, I was just like, yes, you know, come on, give like people of color a fucking chance to like do everything that they're amazing at. And just like Hamilton is just so nerdy and smart and amazing, and it's like Lin-Manuel's just like swan song. It's so good.
So then the show came out to LA and you followed the show.
Yeah.
Now, when you did that, how long ago was this first off?
So I did Spamilton in Chicago from May-ish through late September, and then I got the call like 2 weeks later. They were like, hey, we're taking you to LA. And I was like, tight, when? And they were like, you have to be in LA on Halloween. And I was like, great, I have 2 weeks to uproot my life. I'll be there.
Well, that was my next question. When the show was coming to LA, were you like, I'm just going to be here as long as the show is? Or did you say, I'm going to live in LA now. I'm going to move to Los Angeles? I
think it was time for me to move. I'd been in Chicago for 25 years, and Chicago is great for artists to grow, and there is a ceiling there. Like you do your, main stage at Second City, or you are in a show at the Steppenwolf or the Goodman, or whatever. Or you like do a couple episodes of Chicago Med or PD, one of the Dick Wolf shows.
Yeah, it's keeping that city afloat.
Yeah, Chicago loves Dick.
Too.
Chicago loves Dick. Yeah.
I think we have the episode name.
Yes. Yeah, but I was feeling like I hadn't like exactly reached that ceiling yet, but I was feeling like it was close, and I was just ready for a change. I think I was like running into everyone I've ever made out with like every day at least twice, and I was like, ooh, I know everybody here, and
you
I think I need a
scene to make out with.
Yeah, exactly. And here we are.
But I also get that. I think anyone who's kind of creative and stuff, even if they're in a real great creative hub, like I lived in New York, and I love New York, and I think it's like the greatest city, but I feel like I had to leave. I had to come here to kind of try new things and grow. As also like a person. You have to be away from home at some point.
Yeah, that's also like, this is the first time I've lived like not in like biking proximity to my family. So it's been an interesting transition. I'm not going to say it's been bad. I'm not going to say it's been rough. It's just been interesting and it's new. And I've just had to like be very strong and very, have a lot of self-control and not give up on this place, even though like New York is begging me to come there and Chicago is begging for me to come back. I'm like, I gotta stay here for a little bit before I like make any rash decisions to move back to Chicago or move to New York, which is where I think I would do the best. But that's just me.
The nice thing also is you have the opportunity to reinvent yourself a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
You don't have all those ties.
Buy a fucking vintage Mickey Mouse sweater at Eagle Rock.
I was looking at this.
It's
sweater.
Reversible. The other side is just like one big Mickey Mouse.
That's the one my sister had with the big Mickey head. That was what I'll tell you. Yeah.
This is for the listener who can't see this. She's wearing, it's got Mickey's face all over it, but different flags from the
Yes, I got this
world.
from the Please and Thank You store, which is like a pop-up vintage thing in Eagle Rock. It's I think once every month, and it's like right before the Rose Bowl thing. And it's like run by this woman named Jenny, and she's got like just a garage full of like old withered like stained denim and like I bought like a 1950s maybe like little league baseball jersey that like barely fits me. But
you're waiting for Halloween.
You got the American flag,
like the USSR flag.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You got the Soviet, the
that's
hammer
why I
and
like
sickle.
it.
Yeah, that's the thing that stands out to me.
The hammer, yeah.
The U.S. flag, the American flag. It looks like Mickey's in jail.
Yeah.
It looks like Mickey, or he's got war paint on and he's about to go fuck someone up.
And then there's the British flag and the Canadian flag and the French flag too.
Oh, and the Japanese
flag.
Oh.
It's like a big
This
red
one?
dot. Yeah.
That's the Japanese flag. Yeah.
I thought that was Chinese. Oh, I must be. Oh, shit.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
So do you have, is there anything you got coming up? Anything that you...
I'm doing a festival in Boston, so if you're listening and you're in Boston, I'm gonna be in Boston and in you from April 19th through the 22nd for the Women in Comedy Festival.
Awesome.
I don't know exactly what my dates are or when or where I'll be performing, but I'll be in Boston for those days. And then I think after that I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna come back here, and then I'm gonna go to New York for like a month just to audition and probably do some comedy shows out there because I've got multiple, stand-up friends out there that I can just like do a little tour.
I was going to ask you, you're going to do any like improv out here? You're going to try to get involved in any groups?
I mean, not to shit on it, but like I've done the pay for play. I've done the fucking pay $2,800 to, maybe be seen by the casting directors at Second City after taking a year and a half of classes. Like, and I'm just so fucking over it. Like I'm not going to lie. Like I loved my time at Second City, but I just don't have the patience to do another program.
You've done shows, you've done bigger things.
Yeah.
It's tough to I constantly am running into people like, oh, you should take my storytelling class. You should take my writing class. It's like,
yeah, I'll go to open mics. Like I'll do mics. Yeah, I'll do fucking jams.
But it's like I've done things already that is why you take these classes, and maybe I'm having trouble with it currently, but I'm not gonna
spend money to do what I've already did.
And go backwards.
The classes I am spending money on are Pure Barre and yoga fucking classes because I'm so LA now.
You're the most LA now.
Yeah, no, the Pure Barre studio that I work out at is right next to a yoga studio that has a recording studio and a kombucha bar inside the building.
This place.
Yeah, I know.
It disgusts me.
Didn't you just lose 3 brain cells by listening to me say that sentence?
So I grew up in the city, and I don't even recognize it. Sometimes I don't know what's Pure Barre. I looked the first time I saw Pure Barre, I go, this is just a bar on the wall, and I'm thinking, this is genius. There's no overhead. They literally just have a room with a bar.
Why didn't we think of this? Instead, we did a podcast. We could have been putting bars on walls.
Are you going to lead the class?
Money. It's
a lot of tailbone tucking and just small isometric movements that are for your tiny muscles, and I don't know if it's working. But
if you just stick with it for another couple of years.
I feel great. If you just give them all your money, you will look like you're you're on Dancing with the Stars.
We gotta come up with one of these.
I still think starting a religion is better.
Starting a religion?
Yeah, I think it's easier. I don't have to work tiny
muscles.
muscles.
Oh my god, have you guys heard of Full Circle?
Are you signing up for this?
It's in Venice.
Are you about to try to get us to join a cult here?
No, I'm not trying to get you guys to join a cult, but I know there is one in Venice that's run by Andrew Keegan, the actor who was on 10 Things I Hate About You.
This sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, there's a cult.
Earrings are full circle, so I don't know. I think.
No, I'm not in a cult, except for Pure Barre.
Not in a cult yet.
No, but I guess they have a parrot that's their mascot.
This sounds legit.
Yeah, I don't know. Look into it. Shailene Woodley, I think, is in it. She's at least spoken at some of their gatherings.
We gotta get someone from this cult on.
You are a big.
Oh my God, get Andrew.
What's a Deviant? What was the series she was in? Divergent.
Yeah, and I skipped those.
You did?
I was a Hunger Games guy.
I would say probably the biggest little lie that she is hiding from us is that she may or may not be a member of this cult. That was a Big Little Lies joke. I don't know if you guys, it was lost. It's okay. I'm gonna.
No, I got
comedy.
it. I was just watching episode 5 last night. I'm slowly finishing the series.
Wait,
it's
what?
so Big Little Lies.
Big Little Lies. Big Little Lies.
Okay.
Oh my God!
I got thrown. For
yeah,
a
what
second.
the fuck kind of name is Amabella?
It's a great series.
Amabella.
It's good. I'm not really liking it, although I think Adam Scott's a little miscast, but that's neither here nor there.
So, Becca, where can the people find out more about you? Where can they find you online? You got a Twitter handle? What's going on?
Yeah, your girl's on Twitter. She's on Insta. All the places. If you type in Becca Brown into a search bar, it should be the first thing that comes up.
But what are you at?
My at is BEKKUH Brown on Twitter. And then on Instagram, it's at usually Becca Brown. And then I have a website that's bookbeccabrown.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Because if you are a good listener of the podcast, you've already been to all these places, because we will have a link to all these things on our Facebook page. So, Becca.
Yeah.
Do you have Movie Pass?
I don't. I don't. Is it a thing that you have to have like good credit for?
Is it? I don't know. No, you know what? I know some people have Movie Pass. You don't need to have good credit for this
Okay.
thing.
No, I don't have either of those things.
Sean, do you have Movie Pass?
I don't. And it's the first thing in my life where I feel like I've now aged into another generation because I'm getting yelled at by people younger than me.
I'm getting yelled at by people younger than me, and to be fair, older than me, slightly older than me.
Oh, it's people just being like, you don't have Movie Pass? What are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know.
So let's explain how it works to the folks at home.
Here's how. Will you explain how it works?
Yeah, it's basically a subscription service. You pay $11 a month or so, and it essentially gets you into as many free movies as you want within certain theater chains. So if you're someone that goes to more than 3/4 of a movie a month, it's worth purchasing theoretically because you could just go and see all the movies.
Now, I famously go to the movies every weekend.
Yeah.
So you would think I would be all
You're
about
a Stubbs member. You're like
I'm
Stubbs.
an AMC Stubbs member. Now here's where I'm having a problem, and this is what I keep trying to explain to the people when they say Movie Pass. Everybody in my family knows the only thing I give a shit about is going to the movies. So guess what happens at Christmas time? I get literally hundreds of dollars worth of AMC gift cards. So for me to, at this point, join Movie Pass and go to any theater other than AMC, where I'm already earning all these extra points and free movies to begin with, I would be losing money by getting Movie Pass at this point. And yet when I try to explain this to my friends, they
But Movie
freak
Pass.
out. They go, Movie Pass, you can go to any theater. I'm like, I'll go to this theater. It's convenient.
It doesn't apply to the theater that's closest to my house, so I don't fuck with it.
Oh, and that's my next thing. When I don't use my AMC points, I usually am going to a movie that is only playing, because it's like a brand new film or an indie film, it's only playing at the Landmark or the ArcLight, two chains that do not take Movie Pass. So around Oscar season, all those movies that it's like, that we live in LA, we get to see it like a month before the rest of, like some jack off in
Highland
Pittsburgh.
Park.
In Highland Park, Chicago.
You can't use the Movie Pass. So this is another thing that I would then be losing money on.
Yeah.
I'm a ArcLight subscriber, so I'm already paying for that. Exactly the same issue. All 90% of the movies I go to are at the Landmark or at the ArcLight. So what's the point? And then there's the third problem with Movie Pass.
Well, here's the other thing. I don't know. Are you somebody who, like, you plan ahead your movies, like, oh, this weekend I'm going to see this, or do you do it spur of the moment?
I just wait for the screeners.
Ah.
I had to say that in that voice because it's the most
It's another LA
dickish thing that I've ever said. No, but I get the screeners and I watch those, and then when it's not award season, I don't watch anything.
You just wait, and then if in December you just pull up.
I hibernate until it's Oscars season again, and I just like watch everything.
So you do end up watching everything, but it's just
a lazy way.
It's just a lazy way.
On a laptop screen the way it was intended.
Yes.
So here's another issue that we're finding with the Movie Pass. Because of assigned seating. Do you like assigned seating at movie theaters?
No.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said that, because I don't either.
No, come on.
Assigned seating is
That's a thing?
At movie theaters now?
Yeah. For years
And
now.
it is driving me insane. It used to just be at like the ArcLight, and it's like, ooh, it's special because it's assigned seating. It's like, whatever. And the only time assigned seating has ever been good for me is if I'm going on a date, because then I don't have to make this poor woman who's on the date with me get to the theater so early to get like good seats. But I have issues with assigned seating because they always end up sitting next to assholes. And then, because I profile when I go in a movie theater, like, oh, there's
a person I definitely don't want to sit next to over there. They've got like a loud looking sweater that's gonna like rustle during the film. That person's got like coffee all over their, like, I don't know.
And there's three kids and a dog.
Got a giant plate of Indian food on there.
Oh, no.
I don't want to. So I profile that way, but also a thing that drives me crazy about assigned seats, and I experienced this weekend with going to see Death of Stalin, is all these people have their tickets, so guess what? They don't come in till like 5 minutes into the trailers, and sometimes they don't time it right, and they're walking in front of you when the movie's already starting. They're not in their seats because they like, I have my seats. There was a whole open row in front of me that only filled up like as the opening credits rolled of the movie. I'm like, this is annoying. But with so now everybody buys their tickets ahead of time. Guess what you can't do with MoviePass? Buy your tickets ahead of time. You have to buy them the day of, and you have to be, I believe, within half a mile of the theater or something like that. Like,
I didn't even know this.
Yeah, you have to be within a certain range of the theater. So, let's say you want to go see Avengers opening weekend. It's going to be one of the big movies this summer. We're going to talk about a summer movie preview. It's going to be big. And you have MoviePass, like some friends of mine do. If you show up Friday night expecting to get into this movie.
Thursday night, get a Friday night.
Well, either way, if you show up expecting to get into the movie, guess what? You're not going to, because everybody bought their tickets ahead of time online. You're not going to get in. So I've even talked to some people, some comic book movie fans, friend of the show, Freddie Boutros, who has MoviePass. And guess what? He said, well, with the Avengers, I'll just, I won't use MoviePass and I'll just buy the ticket because otherwise I won't get in opening weekend. Exactly. These are the things. MoviePass, although I'm the rare person they would really be losing money on, they're not suited to me enough. And these theaters, here's the other problem. They are starting to get into fights with theaters. Like, they're in a fight now with AMC, and they're dropping some AMC theaters because they realize that AMC, they're getting, I guess MoviePass is getting screwed because some of these AMC theaters, the amounts they're charging or for what they're not charging for, this or that, they're not making enough money off it, so they're dropping certain AMC theaters, like the one here at Universal. Eventually, I predict that they're going to fuck us all over, and then you're just down to like Regal Cinema, and you got an expensive card that can only be used at Regal Cinemas. This is what I'm thinking. I think this whole thing is too good to be true. Becca, am I a curmudgeon set in my way saying that, or am I right?
I'm not too convinced that the MoviePass is like the way to go, especially like if it works at only some theaters, and if what you're saying is true about like they're getting rid of some of the AMC theaters. I don't know. It's gonna be one of those things that goes away after a little while, like Vine.
Like Vine, R.I.P. Vine.
Sean, what do you think?
I ironically think that, I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. I think it works best if you live not in LA or New York or a major city, where you do live in Omaha, where there's like two, you got like a big movie theater there in the mall, and maybe you have 2 or 3 theaters, and maybe you're not someone who's crazy about movies and is going opening weekend. I think it's perfect for people that live in like middle America.
This is for the common man, of which I clearly am not.
Clearly.
Okay. Well, if you're using your MoviePass,
yeah, tweet at us. Tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah, tell us why we're wrong. And you're all going to tell, no, it's a great thing. But also, I know so many people who, like, their cards got deactivated. There was a problem.
I heard they racially profile. I'm just putting that out there.
Okay. But this is not...
No.
I don't know. It could be true. If they're not letting, like, Magic Johnson cinemas into the MoviePass thing.
Okay.
Maybe it is. Maybe they are racially profiled.
There, you heard it here first.
Yep. MoviePass is racist. If you got your MoviePass, you might have went to see A Wrinkle in Time this weekend. Becca, did you see A Wrinkle in Time?
Nope, not at all. Never read it, never seen it. Sorry.
That's fine.
I love Ava, though.
She's great. One of the reasons I wanted to see it beyond the fact that when I was a kid, and I liked the book as a kid, but admittedly read it 30 years ago and can't remember a damn thing about it. But I wanted to see the movie, one, to see if some of those memories came back. And two, I do like Ava. I want to kind of support the film.
Yeah.
I am here to say the film is not that great.
No.
I think... Okay, here's my take on the film, and then we'll get into the bigger topic that I wanted to discuss here. But before the movie started, there was a trailer starring Will Arnett, a talking dog, trying to solve a crime.
That sounds dope.
Movie past me.
Hell yeah. Up my alley.
And then there was a trailer for like that Garden Gnome movie.
Sherlock Gnome.
And the gnome's in like a thong and it's farting. And I'm like, oh man, the kids want to see the farting gnome movie? Like call me a snob or whatever. But if I had kids, do I want them to see the farting gnome movie? Or the talking dog movie?
In my day, kids cursed and smoked cigarettes.
And then A Wrinkle in Time, although I think it fails on a lot of levels. I think there are these underdeveloped plot lines and characters, but it is a thoughtful movie. It is an optimistic movie, and it's the kind of movie if I had kids, I would proudly bring my kids to. I don't have kids, so I'm not as crazy about the movie, but I've talked to some people who do have kids who brought their kids to it, and they were very happy with it. I think there's a lot of good in it, but I don't think it quite works. It did moderately well at the box office. It came in second. It made in the 40 millions. It'll make its money back. A Wrinkle in Time will be fine. Everyone will be fine.
Oprah's gonna eat.
But it did make me think about how this was a book that I really did enjoy as a kid. And, I did see some older people in the audience, even older than old Will here, in the audience. And I was thinking they must be here for the same reason as me. They want to see how the job they did of the book.
Or they just miss Oprah.
Yeah.
Maybe they just miss Oprah. That's true.
Or they missed the Mindy Project.
So, Becca, is there like a childhood book that you love that you've seen or haven't seen turned into a film?
A couple of them have been turned into films. Like Matilda was huge for me. I would like try to move books with my mind when I was a kid, and that
Did it work?
No, you know what? It didn't, and I'm like forever salty about that. Harry Potter was huge for me too. I love Harry Potter. Huge fan of that, and those movies were great for me. I love them, and I Ron Weasley will always be bae.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, I love me a Ron Weasley. He's definitely my type for sure. Just like scared and neurotic. Yeah, I really like him. Ginger. No, actually, I've never dated a ginger. I think it's more just like really, really like tight with his family kind of thing. Like
There are a lot of Weasleys.
Definitely, there are a lot of Weasleys. I feel like I might. I don't know. They do like ENFJ whatever test of your, what is that called?
The Myers-Briggs. Yeah.
And it like shows you which Harry Potter character you are, like linked up with your Myers-Briggs.
You're not allowed on
personality.
Tinder, I don't think, if you haven't done a Myers-Briggs test.
Yeah, no, you're not. That's like unfortunate. Yeah, I love Tinder here because it's everyone's thing is like ENFP, Slytherin, Leo, Aries moon,
Love to hike.
Libra rising, love to hike, love yoga, love tacos.
Looking for adventure.
Oh my God, looking for adventure. I love to laugh.
Every girl, I don't know how it is with guys, but every girl on Tinder here, it seems, has been to Montepicchu. There's always a photo.
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu.
They'll have the same photo of them.
They all have the same photo in front of these angel wings. Where the hell is that?
Oh my God, and the like
painted?
LACMA light bulbs. Yeah, they
It's all
definitely.
the same. I don't know what the trend is for
Or there's
guy
also the big boulder.
I actually am only on Tinder for women. I don't
so
see.
you're seeing the same
So I'm
thing.
seeing the same stuff that you're seeing. Except for a lot of them are like, me and my boyfriend are looking for a unicorn, and I'm like, nope, no, thank you.
But let's get back
to what we were saying.
Children's
literature,
which has unicorns.
Which has unicorns, but not the kind that I have been propositioned to be.
Harry Potter has that's clearly a really well done adaptation.
Very good.
Of something
Matilda
that
the movie was wonderful. Love me some DeVito and Rhea Perlman, and I love Mara Wilson too. Yeah. She's actually like a fucking amazing writer now. Yeah. And like I just think she's great. The Giver was a huge book for I liked that book a lot, and I know they made a movie of it.
I couldn't resist to watch it. Yeah,
I didn't watch it because I didn't want that soiled for me.
I heard it wasn't great.
I heard it wasn't great, and I was like, fuck, I can't.
Sean, how about you?
I got to two. I was thinking about this. Hatchet. Yeah, which have you ever read this about the kid that gets like stranded in the Alaskan wilderness?
Oh my God.
It's basically like Robinson Crusoe, but with like a teenager.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It's like 127 hours, but in Alaska, and nobody
he's like a kid.
Gets trapped.
Yeah,
like under a rock.
And have to saw their arm off.
Yeah, but like close. Like he has all he has is that hatchet.
Yeah, and he
That's all he has.
makes
He
it
makes
work.
it work.
The other one is, and I know it was a TV series, but I was a huge fan of the Little House on the Prairie books.
Yeah.
And I would love like a dark, gritty reboot. Not like, she's in the prairie, but she fucks. Like, it's not like that.
The HBO pick.
You want something like
Christopher Nolan version
something
of
a little more to the period.
Yes,
of
it's
how
like Deadwood. It's
to-
more like I want it to be like Deadwood, but through a child's perspective, where it feels like a real lived-in world.
Yeah, like Riverdale. Like
Yes.
how Riverdale's like, it's
Archie
like,
would
what
fuck.
if it's Archie and Veronica, but they fuck?
Yeah. So I would love to see, or even just like a limited series on HBO. I would love it,
Did they ever make movies out of any like Judy Blume books?
I don't think so. I don't think she ever gave
Like,
the
are
rights.
you there, Margaret? It's me, my vagina.
It seems like Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Right?
Yeah.
That's the name. But Are You There, Margaret? It's me.
Your vagina.
Your vagina. Although that would be an interesting.
Why did you
book,
put
too.
this nouveau ring in? What is this?
Yeah.
Because I feel like she was such like when I was a kid I liked those like Tales of a
stories.
Fourth Grade Nothing.
Oh yeah, Ramona. She was dope.
And-
Ramona and Beezus was made a movie. Selena Gomez played Beezus.
Okay.
They don't say the
But I
wayside.
feel like she's
Yeah.
somebody that they never really.
I don't think
tapped
Judy
into for
Blume
whatever
ever. I
reason.
don't think she ever gave the rights. She,
Super Fudge-mania.
Fudge. Oh my god, I love those.
How come there was
books.
no fudge?
when she's dead, don't worry. They'll strip mine that property.
No, well, if she don't want it, strip mine. I
Like,
don't
back
know.
to Hatchet though, real quick. Like, who do you think would play him in the probably Timothy Chardonnay, right? Like,
I think he's too old now. I mean, you need like.
how old
looks
was the
young.
kid
I think
in
he's
the
like
movie?
14 or 15.
Oh, okay. We need to find.
How about I got one for you? Room. What's his name?
Jacob Tremblay?
Yeah, because by this point, how old is he now? 12, 13? He's aging up a little bit.
So give him a couple years.
Give him a couple
and
years.
Cast him as Hatchet. I don't know anything about the Hatchet character. I didn't read Hatchet.
Whatever. It's like
He's
Room,
a
but in the
strong-
outdoors.
Yeah, he's strong. Like he definitely
Tremblay
is a
strong?
survivor. Like
Tremblay
he
will hit
gets
the gym.
through it.
Tremblay will get on a green diet, and Tremblay will get a trainer. Listen, they'll Laura Croft him up.
There you go.
Definitely Lara Croft him up.
Yeah, I mean, I Judy Blume was the person I was thinking of that I'm like, I haven't seen adaptations or stuff. I wonder if they're going to do... I didn't read any of the other Wrinkle in Time books as a kid because they weren't
So
as
I reread the
popular,
book
but-
recently because I gave it to my niece, and I'm like, you know what? I never read this as a kid. So I read it about 5 months ago. It's fine. You mentioned that the story is very thin. The book is very thin. It's a lot of... The characterization is very thin, and I think... what sort of passed as child's literature back then was very different. Also, there's the very Christian streak that runs through her work. Not quite as strong as the Narnia books, but she was a very devout Episcopalian. So there's a lot of theology in there.
What's the log line of that movie? Like, what's the or the book? I guess. Like, what's the main little plot? It's a girl who hates her fucking hair, right? She doesn't like her hair and
Wait, A Wrinkle in Time?
yeah.
No.
What's the? Oh.
It's just her dad disappears, and she has to
Her
go.
dad disappears to another dimension.
Her dad's a scientist,
fuck.
and then she has to go, and she's got her little Sheldon brother and her friend, and they have to go through this intergalactic.
And there are these
adventure.
misses. There are these three women who
I want to see that, and it's Mindy Kaling and Oprah.
And Reese Witherspoon are the women.
Oh my
They're
God.
Mrs. Whatsit, Mrs. Witch, and Mrs. Who.
Yeah.
I need to see that. That sounds right up my alley.
If you had Movie Pass, you could go right after this.
You know what? I might just get a movie pass just so I could see that and then cancel it.
I didn't get my money's worth. I think we're good.
Okay. So there you go.
So yeah, here we go. Dark, gritty Little House on the Prairie.
That's I'll watch that.
Little House,
whore-
but they fuck.
Little whorehouse on the prairie.
Oh no!
So we all use Amazon, right? You
Yeah.
buy things off Amazon.
Oh my god, Amazon's my favorite thing in the entire world.
I literally bought something off Amazon yesterday. Sean, you're buying shit off Amazon.
I got my Age of Innocence today from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you
the
go.
new Criterion Blu-ray. I'm very excited.
So, it used to be this. I would buy something from Amazon. A couple days later, or a week later, the mailman would show up. And the mailman, my mailman, Joe Hung, he would come and he'd put it in my mailbox. And I'd come home from work and I'd open up the mailbox and look, and there it was. And I was very excited. And it was fine. Everything was fine. It was good. It was fine. Because I have one of those mailboxes you need a key. So Joe Hung has to put it in there. But... the other day, I'm sitting at work, and I had ordered a couple of Blu-rays, and my phone rings, and it's my front door, and I have a strict, if I am not home, I'm not buzzing people into my building because, I could buzz in the Manson family. I don't know who these fucking people are. So I didn't even answer it. I was working. I was busy. Then I immediately, seconds later, get an email from Amazon like, you weren't home. We tried to deliver your package and you weren't home. And I said, what? And I had to send Amazon a message. I said, I saw my door buzzer ring, but I figured you always deliver stuff in the mail. I'm like, no, we had this guy, just some guy, bring it to your house. And I said, can you send the guy back? And they said, sure. Then I get a message later that says, the guy came to your apartment, you weren't there. I said, he didn't buzz. I would have buzzed him in. Who is this guy? Why isn't Joe Hung bringing my package? Then I get home and I get another message and like, your package is here. It is at your door. But guess what? I'm in my apartment. It is not at my door. So they send me a photo. And guess what? They just delivered it to another door in my building. And I had to go, and I had to walk across to the other side of the building where I saw this door that I recognized, and I recognized not mine, and I had to grab the package off of this doorstep while the neighbors are giving me the shifty, why is he stealing that guy's package, even though it's my package. It was incredibly awkward. Then the other day I'm sitting at home, this white van pulls up, and this guy comes out, and he's like, Will Link, here's your package. Who are you? Where did this come from? They got these assholes driving around in white vans. Who are they? Where did they get this job? How are they qualified to do this? And guess what? They're leaving shit in people's mailboxes, which you can't even do. You can't leave shit in people's mailboxes because then the mailman can take it. Mailman's supposed to take it and then make you pay postage due. But they got these white truck Amazon guys driving around this nonsense. They don't know how to get in my building. They're dropping me lines at work. They're dropping things off at the wrong door because they're not Joe Hung. And that's why you, Amazon Delivery, this week's Enemy of the Podcast, go fuck yourself. You're killing me with your convenience. This is really weird because today I get a phone call, right? Then I get a phone call and it's the door and I knew maybe it's Amazon. So I'm like, hello? And the guy's like, hey. And I'm like, who is this?
Manson family.
He goes, it's Amazon. And I'm like, I'm not home. Yeah. So can you leave it in the screen door between the screen there? And he's like, I can't hear you. And I'm like, can you leave it in the? And then he hung up. And then he called me again, and it was this big process. This is actually why are these guys in the white vans delivering everything now?
Because we use Amazon so much that I think we broke the postal system, so they had to go rogue.
But they're not good. They're not good at their job.
Well, they didn't have to be.
Have you had any Amazon delivery problems, or again, am I just old man curmudgeon who's upset, raging against the
progress?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always had a good experience with Amazon. I'm never home when the stuff comes to my door, but my roommate is typically really good about bringing my stuff in. I was just looking through my Amazon orders of recent, and I definitely hate myself a lot for how LA I have become.
Oh no!
A lot of kombuchas?
No, not kombuchas, but definitely apple cider vinegar and a bunch of different herbal vitamins.
Oh, you're ordering all that stuff off Amazon too?
Yeah, incense and The Actor's Life by Jenna Fisher. Mostly apartment-based stuff, but then I have, if you scroll to my, very recent orders, this is, delivered Wednesday, vegan green tea lip scrub, snail serum, and bee pollen masks.
Okay, wait a second. Were you doing any of this ordering? Because this stuff can exist in Chicago. You can order that, right?
I mean,
you've only been here since Halloween.
So when I stopped, I guess when I stopped drinking, I kind of replaced my alcoholism with Korean skincare products.
Okay,
which is hey, make it work, make the steps work for you. And my replacement addiction is kind of just taking care of myself, which is pretty dope. But no, you can't fit. I don't know if there's a store in Chicago where you can walk in and get snail serum lotion.
But there is in LA.
There is in LA, and there's definitely on Amazon. I guess I didn't really do that much self-care when I lived in Chicago. But no, but also I live in Culver City, and nothing I like is near my house. So I just like am lazy, and I'll order everything that I want online, even though I know there's like probably like in K-Town or in Little Tokyo, I could like probably walk into a store and get all these things, but I like having it delivered to my house. There's like something nice about like getting packages, even though I order them for myself.
Who delivers your packages? Is it the white van guy or is it Joe Hung, the mailman?
I don't know. I'm never home. I think it's Joe, the mailman.
See, I got no problem with that.
I like that you have your mailman's name is Joe Hung and he delivers packages. It's like, he's like a porno mailman.
He's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That is something interesting. You cannot, and this is a problem the Postal Service is starting to have. Legally, you're not allowed to put anything in your mailbox other than letters going to. So when the Amazon people when one of these idiot guys puts a package in the mailbox, technically the postal worker is supposed to take that package away and bring it to the post office, and you will have to come collect it because the space in the mailbox doesn't belong to you; it belongs to the government.
It's like a tiny little embassy on your front lawn.
Yes. Now, the postal workers don't do this because they don't want to be lugging around more packages than this, and they don't want to be assholes.
Right.
But technically, they're supposed to.
So you know what you should do? When you leave a tip for your mailman at the end of the year?
Yeah, Christmas.
You put it in the mailbox, or do you... Because
Well,
do you have to take that and go post that to himself?
Mine's difficult because I can't really put it in the mailbox.
Right.
So it's like I have to, like, on a Saturday in December, I have to hang around and like try to see him and then like race down like, Joe Hung, here's your Christmas tip. And he's very
Well, he's
happy.
very serious about the U.S. Postal Service.
Yeah,
gotta tip your
I guess
mailman.
I didn't know that, actually. I guess that makes more sense, though. Yeah.
I didn't know that either until I started hanging out with you. It's expensive to hang out with you.
Yeah, I mean, how much are you tipping him?
Give him a movie pass.
Movie pass. Sean, you got any Amazon horror stories before we move on?
What
to
they
our
do
final
here is
word?
they do this thing where they'll show up at like 9:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, buzz my bell, and then they'll throw it over the partition sometimes so it thuds and lands on my balcony.
Really?
Yeah, they'll do that sometimes.
You know who doesn't do that? Joe Hung. That's ridiculous. See, these guys.
Or sometimes they just
See,
drop it on
your
my
mailman deserves it. It sounds like your mailman sounds like he deserves a tip. Like my mail person, I don't. There's two in my neighborhood, and one's a guy and one's a girl. And I like try to be nice and be like, "Hey, how's your day?" And they're just like cold, and I'm like, "Why are you so?" Ugh.
Well, to be fair, the postal workers in their life is miserable.
True.
It's
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to bring like, some sunshine to their day, and
Nah,
they're just like,
they should.
"Fuck you."
You know, the thing is, they've been beaten down by like keep trying with the mailman.
You'll make progress.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a dog that's been abused. You just have to keep being nice and consistent.
You said you're moving.
I'm moving to
Fresh
Hollywood.
start, new mailman.
New start, new mail person. Yeah. I'm excited. Hollywood's going to be cute.
You gotta leave fresh baked cookies in there for them. So that,
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm the
Vegan
new-
cookies.
I'm the-
Paleo.
and some Korean bee wax face.
Yes, I'll put some bee pollen serum in there. They say it's nature's Botox.
So we always like to end on a weird note.
Oh, God.
And we saw that there's a problem in Taiwan.
Oh, God.
They have run out of toilet paper.
Oh, no.
There was
Tragic.
They are in a major toilet paper shortage, which I feel is like the number one paper you never want to be in a shortage of.
Yeah.
There was even a run on toilet paper after a pulp shortage due to a Canadian forest fire.
You said doo-doo.
And problems with Brazilian factories caused manufacturers to increase the price of toilet paper by up to 30%. The cost of toilet paper went up. The websites were warning them about it. It became a big campaign in Taiwan saying the cost of toilet paper will go up soon. Have you prepared? This is the global economy, people.
This is crazy.
I don't know. You know what? I'll tell you this right now. I am fully prepared already for toilet paper shortage.
Toilet paper gate or a geddon.
I have so much toilet paper in my apartment
Yeah.
because I am not a Costco member, but my mother is. And my mother comes to visit. So I go to Costco. I said, Mom, you mind if we go to Costco? And we go. and I buy all the paper. Sean, you know there are lots of like cabinets in my thing,
Yeah.
and it's like, what could Will have in those cabinets? Lots of toilet paper. I am stacked with toilet paper. I am prepared for this shortage to come to America.
Maybe you could like donate some of that to the poor people of Taiwan.
You know what?
Give it to Joe Hung. Say, take this to Taiwan.
I'm gonna put a stamp on a roll of toilet paper. I said, Joe, send this to Taiwan.
Just one roll of
Just
toilet paper.
one roll.
I mean, I don't know. I could probably go without. No, I'm not gonna say I could go without toilet paper.
Yeah, well,
Fuck. I need it. I've definitely used like a makeup remover wipe in a pinch.
Yeah, you can listen.
Or just
You got a
like-
book on
or
your
just
shelf you're not
the-
going to read again.
Right. Yeah. Or like
Jeez.
the cardboard from the roll that is out of paper. I've definitely used that in a
Break it
pinch,
apart,
too.
run it, get it wet so it's a little
Yeah.
softer.
I once had to use. I got caught in a bad restroom situation, and I had to use the
seat cover?
The seat cover.
I've had
that.
that, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what? They didn't put the toilet paper? And then I'm like, well,
You
I-
should,
Once I
you
got
should just
to-
carry. I mean, you have so much of it. Why don't you just carry it with you?
Imagine I became the guy who
You'd be
just
toilet
carried
paper
a
guy.
roll of toilet. That's gonna be
Oh,
attractive.
Will, TP Will, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that guy's deal is.
No, but you
TP
keep
Will.
it, it's literally on your belt just dangling, so you're
Yeah,
ready to
I
go.
get the whole roll.
You got it ready.
I'm sitting at the bar, put the toilet paper.
I
up,
once
and
got.
I'm
I was in
ready
a.
to go.
I was in a public restroom. No toilet paper. No seat covers. Nothing. Thankfully, I carry tissues all the time because I'm a tissue guy. So I had to take
Yeah.
the little bit, and I used to start doing the rationing.
Oh my
you go like the Chilean miners. Like you got to figure out how long this will last.
Yeah.
So and then you have to like make it really small. Yeah, but with the grace of God, I made it through.
People gotta be. Look, I mean, but maybe it's because, like, we.
Oh, thanks, Obama. Right?
We take for granted how rich in toilet paper we are as a nation when we see Taiwan. I'll tell you what, if I was planning a trip to Taiwan right now, I'd pack some rolls of toilet paper with me. But I don't envision going to Taiwan
Nah,
anytime
yeah.
soon. Although there's rumors I might do a sudden trip to Tokyo. That's something
Really?
we bandied about between me and two other friends of ours.
Lost in translation cosplay.
Yeah, basically. Basically, we've watched Lost in Translation one too many times,
Fucking
and we're
love
like,
Tokyo.
let's go. I've never been.
Oh, it's so cool.
Although-
I love Tokyo. Go. For
Although I
sure
really want to go to Australia.
Also go there. Go to both of
like
those
San Diego.
places.
Australia's
Yeah.
not San Diego. They got koala bears and wallabies.
Yeah,
San
everyone's
Diego's
got like
got the
really
zoo.
cute, endearing accents. I love. Oh my god, there's so many Australian guys here on Tinder, at least on Bumble.
Oh,
There are a
I use
lot of.
Bumble for guys.
okay.
There are
You got a system.
Yeah.
There are a lot of.
Because quality control.
I've
Quality
met a
control.
lot of Australians in the last few years.
Yeah.
I briefly dated a girl who was Australian, and she also turned out to be an anti-Semite. And on that note, Becca, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Tell us one more time where the people can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Becca Brown. That's spelled BEKKUH Brown. I am hopefully one day going to just change it to the real spelling of my name. If I can like get the person who has that handle to give it to me. And then Instagram is at usually Becca Brown. And then my website is www.bookbeccabrown.com. That's Becca with 2 C's, no K. I ain't a K having bitch.
Sean.
I ain't a K having bitch either. You can find me at all forms of social media at Deshaun David. Follow me on Instagram or I was about to say Tinder. No, follow me on Twitter. Yeah, hopefully I need to start doing storytelling shows again. So I'm going to be looking to get up on stage a few
That's
coming
good.
soon.
Although I'm working on some new material myself because I feel like my old material has been exhausted.
Yeah.
But I'm working on some.
You got to live a little bit though. You need some adventures.
Yeah, I got to go to Tokyo.
Have you done a story about London yet?
No, I'm working on a piece about London, and I'm working on some other pieces.
Okay.
So hopefully I'll be performing them soon. And if you want to know when I'm performing them, you can follow me on Twitter at The Real Will Link. And, I keep recording this new podcast, No Love Lost, about Lost. Posing for a photo. And I keep recording this. We
Yeah.
haven't put them up yet.
That's good. It's timely.
But we've got about 5 or 6 episodes in, and they will be launching sometime in the spring, I am sure.
When's the 10-year anniversary of Lost?
We're past from the premiere or the finale.
I don't know.
Well, we're about 2 years away from the finale.
Maybe you should wait till then.
Yeah, wait 2 years.
Or you should space it out so you do the 7th season, you finish the podcast on the anniversary of the finale.
On the show next week, Tracy Schwartz. Speaking of stories, she is a terrific storyteller around town. She has run shows. She is in a lot of shows. She is terrific and funny, and she will be here.
Well, your place.
She'll be at the podcast studios.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Becca.
Thank you for having me.
For the Will Sean podcast, I'm Sean David.
I'm Will Link.
We're finished.
We're finished.